Hey y'all, morning. Welcome to a walk with Tisha, your licensed marriage and family therapist associate. Y'all, I'm out here this morning trying to get a walk in, trying to burn some calories um, before this day gets started for me, for real. But I wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about overachieving and some of the ways that overachieving shows up and talk just a little bit about why you may be an overachiever. Coming from a fellow overachiever, y'all. So this is personal and clinical thoughts that I'm sharing in regards to being an overachiever. So when you think about overachieving, you normally correlate perfectionism with it because there's a lot of things that you want to do and you want to do them very well. And you want to you're super particular about the way they get done, and you're super focused on getting them done. Um, you may also find yourself always having new goals, right? And the goalpost always moving. The one thing that you've achieved is not enough. You have to move on to the next best thing, um, the next goal, the next mark. A lot of times people are like, girl or guy, you're always doing something. You conquered this major feat, you climbed this major mountain, and you find it difficult to celebrate yourself. When people do acknowledge you, you kind of like minimize it. Oh, it wasn't nothing. And you actually feel that way. You feel like it was what I was supposed to do. It wasn't like the biggest thing in the world. It's a part of this journey. It's a part of all these things that I need to accomplish and I need to take care of. A lot of times where overachieving comes from is origins from childhood. Y'all know how I feel about that. A lot of stuff comes from childhood, where there's a correlation between how you were acknowledged, appreciated, valued, and seen, right? So when you were younger, you recognized that the more that you did, the more you were able to achieve, accomplish, perform, the more acknowledgement you got, the more appreciation you got, the more maybe you felt seen. Maybe you were in a big family and there were a lot of people and that made you stand out, right? And that allowed you to be seen. And you correlated that with like love and acceptance. And as a result, you continue to do that because those are the ways that you feel valued, appreciated, seen. And all of us want that. And some of us may use different means or methods to achieve that in our lives, right? And so for the overachiever, it's always, I got to do the next best thing. I got to do the next best thing because it's a transaction. It's when I do this, then I deserve this. When I do this, I'm able to receive this. And so you are steady trying to have that human desire filled through your accomplishments and your accolades, right? And the things that you're able to do. And those things should be celebrated. Don't get me wrong. We be working hard out here, right? Those things should be celebrated. But I think that when you go into overachieving mode, so there's people who are achievers. They achieve those things. There are people who overachieve, where like they stress themselves out. They're pushing themselves. They have high expectations of themselves and other people. And they give themselves very little credit for the things that they've accomplished. It's kind of like, you do the thing, everybody's like, oh, congratulations, you did it. You might be smiling, saying thank you, but inside you're like, oh well, on to the next thing. you know, that wasn't that big of a deal, right? Anybody could have done it. And while the world, everybody else is telling you anybody couldn't have did it, you did it. And you just find it difficult to accept the fact that you were able to accomplish it. So as we begin to think about that, we can see how that can set us up to be on this rapid race, right? Of things that we have to do and we have to accomplish and we have to take care of. And and it's not just work It's not just a work thing, it's just in life in general. This is the way that you kind of operate. And so that in and of itself can be overwhelming. Striving for perfection, even though we all know that it doesn't exist, there's still a deep desire to want to be seen, to want to connect, to want to feel valued, to want to feel productive, to want to feel worth. And that desire isn't going anywhere. And so when we're talking about being an overachiever, when we're talking about burnout, when we're talking about all these things, we got to start with the root of it too, because there's some beliefs and some things that we've developed as individuals that we have to work through, right? So if this was good to you, if you was resonating and you was like, oh yeah, Tisha, girl, you telling me my life, you speaking to me right now, you in my closet. Join us this Saturday at our Break Free from Burnout conference. Well, it's not a conference, it's a workshop. Saturday from 10 to 12. I'll put the link in the comments below. We're going to dive more into this. Overachieving is not the only thing that leads to burnout. There's several other things, but this topic for sure we'll be diving into a little bit more. So I'd love to see you there. If you feel like this is you, if you want to learn how to change, you got to go to the root, right? There's some changes you can do with the branches. You could break some branches off. But if there is weeds in the ground, if the soil is not good, the thing is not growing. It's not changing. It's not doing what you want it to do. So hope to see y'all there.